Could a healthy Trevor Story change the outlook of the 2025 Boston Red Sox? Why is Boston looking for another right-handed hitting outfielder? And we take a look at the closer battle here in spring training. Welcome into another edition of the Heart of Boston Sports. I'm Jace Andrews, and let's start off with Trevor Story because he has been on an absolute tear in spring training. His line over spring has just been fantastic. 24 ABs, 11 hits, that's good for a 458 average, 480 on base percentage, and an OPS north of 1.3. This guy has been on an absolute tear, and I understand, and I'm going to kind of counterintuit myself here later on in the show, but spring stats do not matter. However, is it nice to see Trevor Story putting up these numbers when in 2024 he only took 94 at-bats and batted .255? 100%. And I think the thing that Trevor Story is showing us right now is that if he is on the team, if he is healthy, if he is hitting like we all know he can, the Red Sox are a different team. Him and Alex Bregman, they're friends. They've been playing great together when they're on the field over in JetBlue Park. So I'm excited to see those two in a lot of aspects. But I think with Trevor Story, we have to look at here is keeping him healthy. And everybody talks about how defensively he's great. And I think we overlook sometimes his offensive abilities. And I hope that this year we can finally see him healthy for an entire season because that will truly give us an outlook on what Trevor Story can do with the Red Sox and why they signed him on that 7-year contract. So I do want to talk about a couple quotes there with Trevor Story. Alex Cora even kind of talked about the tear that Story's been on in this spring training, saying he is swinging the bat better. He is on time on the fastball, and if they hang something in the zone, he has been hitting it hard. Somebody in the dugout said, save those swings for the season. I disagree. He needs to swing like that. He had too much swung and miss, but throughout camp, he had been making contact, which is great. Trevor Story also commented on his health, saying, obviously health plays a big factor in that. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling strong and healthy. And at the end of the day, to me, it's about the preparation. I know I'm doing the right things to have a successful season. It's been a good camp so far, and the injuries have been a little bit freakish. It's nothing I could outline. And that's true. There's nothing that Trevor Story or any of us could outline for his injuries. It's been very weird ones. I mean, go back to last year. He injured himself diving for a ball in the gap in a game against the Angels in May. I mean, it was just not, or it was actually maybe in April. I mean, it was something that you almost couldn't even predict. And he just went out there diving a normal ball. I mean, it's something that you see shortstops do all the time. Something you see outfielders do all the time. And his shoulder just popped and ultimately got injured. So I am really excited to see what Trevor Story can do this season. I'm hoping the health is there the entire year. And if it is, I think the Red Sox can really be a different team from top to bottom because then you have a guy slotted at shortstop all year. We're not going to be playing, ring around the rosy there. David Hamilton, who pretended to be a shortstop last year. We won't have to worry about that. Ceddanne Rafeal can stay in the outfield. There's no spinning move there. Maybe we bring up Marcello Mayer later in the season just to provide some depth factor for Story. But at the end of the day, I don't think that will be needed. I think Trevor Story, that's his spot. If he can play there all year, I would love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that. Now, I talked about it in the intro, but apparently the Red Sox are looking for a right-handed hitting outfielder. We got this today. The Red Sox have let clubs know that they are interested in adding outfield depth with a preference for a right-handed hitter. This is all according to Sean McAdam. And then Boston Sports Go added this, saying, with Wilyer Abreu behind, adding an outfield would be a way to avoid rushing into promoting Kristian Campbell or Roman Anthony before they're ready. And I'm going to start with that because Kristian Campbell and Roman Anthony, I'm not going to say are having amazing springs, especially Kristian Campbell. Just kind of looking at their stats lines here, it's nothing to, scream that they are ready to be in the major leagues. 26 ABs for Kristian Campbell. They've been trying to get him into the lineup pretty much every day, and he's batting 154 with a 290 on base percentage. It's not great. Now, has he been doing well over the past couple games? Yes, but at the same time, spring stats don't matter. And I don't think that we should really be looking at this in a lot of aspects. Now, Roman Anthony has definitely had a better spring, although with a much smaller sample size. 13 ABs, 308, 500 on base percentage. The problem with Roman Anthony is he has been another victim of what I'm going to call the Red Sox plague, kind of what the Section 10 guys is calling it. It's very much just a freak sickness going on throughout the Red Sox. Roman Anthony, I think they've said he lost 10 to 12 pounds during this sickness, and him and Marcello Mayer got sick together. They're roommates, so I think he's been more affected by that than actually his ability on the field. So that is maybe more the reason we won't see Roman Anthony start off in the opening day roster. Now, do I think Roman Anthony deserves a spot? Probably not, but Kristian Campbell, I think it seems like they're ready for him to go. But I think besides this, we're looking at spring training stats. We're not looking at the stats that these guys have been putting up in the minor leagues. I mean, looking at last year alone, Kristian Campbell, we know his history, 2024 MILB Player of the Year, batted .330 with a .439 on base percentage, an OPS just shy of 1,000. This guy was doing everything possible in the minor leagues to prove that he is ready. 20 home runs, and that's even more than Roman Anthony, funny enough. Roman, a bigger guy, he had 18 home runs, batted .291 with a .396 OVP and an .894 OPS. All of their stats in the minor leagues point to say that they are ready for the majors. Both Campbell and Anthony, in my opinion, should be up by the time June is coming around. I'm not going to say that they both deserve a spot on the opening day. I'm not going to sit here and say that. However, I don't really understand the point of a Red Sox going after a right-handed hitter when you know you're going to get Kristian Campbell and Roman Anthony up here at some point. You know Buehler Abreu is going to be healthy at some point. At this point, you already have like 5 outfielders. I know Masataka Yoshida has basically become a DH and people forget he's on the team. But at the same time, you're almost adding people you don't need at this point. You really don't. And on top of which, I've talked about Kristian Campbell. I've talked about Roman Anthony. What about Trayce Thompson? This guy has been lighting up the absolute torch of a ball. I mean, I cannot put enough adjectives in front of him to describe what he is doing in spring training. 23 ABs, he's got a .391 average, a .533 on-base percentage, and a 1.794 OPS, along with 6 home runs. By the way, 6 home runs, first in spring training. .533 OBP, first in all of spring training. 1.794 OPS, first in all of spring training, and then this average, third in all of spring training. Oh yeah, he's also a right-handed hitting bat. I just truly don't get it. Here's my opinion on all this. Why go out and trade people that you don't need to trade for a right-handed and hitting outfielder that, in your mind, in the way that was phrased, will only play for 2-3 weeks, maybe a month tops? When you have Trayce Thompson, you're going to sign him to an easy deal. He's already on the team. He's slashing it up. If he fails in the MLB, so what? So what? No one's going to blame you. No one's going to be like, man, that's why you don't put him on the team. No, this guy's batting .391 in spring training and has the most homers, including a grand slam. Put him on the roster. Put him on the roster, let him play right field until Buehler is back, and heck, who knows, maybe he keeps playing like this, and when Buehler gets back, it's, hey bud, sorry, Trayce Thompson's out there, we're going to platoon you for a bit, because this guy's killing it. I don't understand what the point of the Red Sox looking for a right-handed hitting outfielder. It makes no sense, on top of which when you have Roman Anthony in the minors. He is going to come up this year. That is going to happen. Roman Anthony will be a Red Sox by July, by the All-Star break. And yet, for some reason, they're looking for a right-handed hitting bat? It makes no sense. Put Trayce Thompson on the team. Buehler Abreu will be back soon enough. And the only reason I can see any of this being logical, any of it, is if they don't think Buehler Abreu will be on this Red Sox squad by the time the trade deadline comes. Could it be a trade for Sandy Alcantara? I don't know. Could it be a trade for maybe getting Dylan Cease after all? I couldn't tell you. But it makes no sense to me why they would want a right-handed hitting bat when you have Trayce Thompson, who's hitting right. And I understand Roman Anthony, he's not going to be up in the majors. He's not going to be right-handed hitting. I don't care. Why? Makes no sense. Let's move on here to the closer battle with the Red Sox because it's kind of interesting. There's 3 guys that are up for that closing spot. Liam Hendriks, Aroldis Chapman, and Justin Slayton. Now, their spring training stats are very different in a lot of aspects, most notably Liam Hendriks. Now, obviously, great story for Liam Hendriks. I want him to succeed. Such a great guy. He's just not had a great spring. 13.50 ERA. He's only pitched 4 innings, just 3 strikeouts, a whip of 2.75. And then you have Aroldis Chapman with a 1.91 whip and a 4.91 ERA. Granted, he gave up runs most recently in his last outing, so that is a bit skewed compared to his other ones. And I mean, you're only having at this point 4 games, 4 outings, so it's you give up 1 run, you're automatically your ERA is going to skyrocket. The guy that I'm looking though at the bottom though, Justin Slayton, 0 ERA, 3 games, 3 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, a 1 whip. The guy looks great. The problem with this is he has also been afflicted by the Red Sox plague. He's been, in a lot of aspects, a one-person show who can go out there and shut down anybody who need to be shut down. But he's been with the plague. There's been times where you haven't been able to see him because he's been sick, and there's a chance that come opening day, Justin Slayton is not ready to go. So your options at closer become very thin with Liam Hendriks and Aroldis Chapman. I don't know which one I'd rather have, to be quite frank with you. I don't know which one is better. I know that they both have certain characteristics to them that I like, and I've said it the show, and I got to keep true with it. Spring training stats do not matter. They don't. I'm more invested in what is their velocity, what's their spin rate, how are they feeling in the bullpen sessions, what does Alex Cora think of these guys and what they're doing out there. That's more important, because when you go to spring training, most guys are testing stuff out if you're on the mound. That's what spring training is for. Now, do I still want Justin Slayton to be the closer? Abso-freaking-lutely. I want him to be my closer day one. Will he be ready? I don't know. The sickness is kind of crazy. You've got a little bit to opening day. I mean, you got like 2-3 weeks, so I'm not saying that he has to be healthy right away, but you want him to have a couple more outings if you're going to slot him into that closer role. Luckily, maybe unlucky, you play 19 games in 20 days to start off your season, so you will find your closer one way or another. Whether it's a guy you put him out there and he stinks and you got to go to someone else, or you go out there and you put Slayton, you put Chapman, you put Hendricks, one of the three, and they go out there and shove. Well, guess what? You found your closer. It's just going to take time, and with 19 games in 20 days to start out your season, the closer position will find out itself. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about on today's show, and that is the AL East is wide open. And I bring up this point. Gerrit Cole has been recommended to have Tommy John surgery. They are awaiting a second opinion, and this is not to sit here and say that I'm happy for an injury. I wish Gerrit Cole the best. I hope he is recovering well, and if he does need Tommy John surgery, that is a very unfortunate situation for the game of baseball. However, as a Red Sox fan, looking on at this team, seeing what could be available in the AL East, it's wide open. The Red Sox are the favorite if Gerrit Cole is not pitching for the Yankees. And not to mention, Giancarlo Stanton is also talking about having elbow injuries and potentially him missing the 2025 season. The AL East, although it is the most competitive division in all of baseball, and I think, in my opinion, the best division in all of baseball, the Red Sox have the key to win it all. They have the key, because I don't really know who made the moves in the offseason like the Red Sox did to go out there and become a first-place caliber team in the AL East. The Orioles certainly did not. They got Tyler O'Neill, that's great, but they lost Anthony Santander. Okay, they lost Corbin Burns too. I mean, there's just no moving there. Toronto Blue Jays, I really don't know what they're doing. I'm not going to talk about them. The Rays, they've got some prospects. They're kind of always just like farm system bred. They'll be good, but I don't think they're going to compete. I truly think it's the Yankees, Red Sox, and at least that's what it was. It was the Yankees, the Red Sox fighting for the AL East, and that's kind of what I wanted. But it seems as though the Red Sox have the easy path. If you do not have a Gerrit Cole, and Lucas Gill also injured. I mean, there is a lot of injuries on the Yankees squad. And I saw a tweet about this. If Aaron Judge stubs his toe or hurts himself, the Yankees are in a very, very bad place. And so as a Red Sox, you got to go out there and pounce on that. 19 games, 20 days, win as much as possible early, get yourself a big lead, and take the AL East back where it rightfully belongs, in the city of Boston in Fenway Park. That's the hope, and that's what we'll be rooting for come opening day in just a couple weeks. If you're excited for it, make sure you let me know by hitting that like button. I always do appreciate it. If you're enjoying the channel, man, I'm just glad to have you along, so I really, really do appreciate y'all watching. We're going to now see you later here on this edition of the Heart of Boston Sports. Peace out.